This flight was so similar to my last flight on American. Similar aircraft, similar seat, similar flight length, but nowhere near as good. Find out why in the full trip report coming up. Today, we're in Miami's North Terminal D gates, which American Airlines dominates. Quick tip if you're looking for a global entry appointment. If Miami's in your travel plans, it's usually pretty easy to get a quick appointment there at their office near the J gates, which is what I did on this layover from LAX. A link to that flight can be seen in the description below. I gotta say, I think MIA gets a bad rap. I've used multiple concourses here in the past month or two, and was honestly impressed with the condition of the facilities, the amount of shops and lounges, and I do just kinda love the flooring. I'd be flying business class to Bogota tonight, but it's not considered a flagship destination, so only Admirals Club access was given. But I have to say, it was really comfortable inside, and had a decent selection of drinks and, let's say, snacks available. There were also a few food options that you could pay for, which all looked very overpriced for what you get. There are tons of local food stalls in the airport. Please don't pay $10 for American Airlines nachos. It was consistently busy inside, but each of the 3 times that I entered on this 7-hour layover, I was able to get a nice seat with power near the windows. After my first stint at the Admirals Club, and now within 3 hours of my departure, I went to check out the AMEX Centurion Lounge, which honestly played very well into my ongoing narrative that Centurion lounges are very overhyped. There was only a short line, relatively speaking, to get inside, but once inside, it was a madhouse. I walked the length of the lounge twice before I was able to find a table, and then got in line for some mediocre hot food options, almost all of which seemed to somehow contain pumpkin. I'll always check out any lounge that I'm able to if I haven't been there before. But unless you plan to drink buckets of top shelf stuff while inside, it's probably not worth the hassle or long lines that you'll probably have to wait in to get into this lounge. I left after 15 minutes and went back to the much more pleasant Admirals Club, which was also much closer to my gate tonight, D25. Let's take a look at the layout today on this 23-year-old 777-200 workhorse, which actually, after returning to Miami from Bogota, was flown to Tulsa and has been parked there ever since. Overall, we have 37 business class seats split into 2 small cabins, 24 premium economy seats, and 212 main cabin and main cabin extra seats. On the 200 variant, the only seat to truly red flag is 6 Lima, which is surrounded by galleys, bathrooms, and heavy traffic. I'd avoid row 5 for the proximity to the facilities as well. As for the best seats, generally for these Collins Aerospace seats, I highly recommend the bulkheads for a bit of extra personal space. Because of the design, you're pretty well divided from the galleys also, so the proximity isn't really a problem, for me at least. For this flight, I was happily in 1 Lima. Unlike my last flight on American, tonight's seats were bare bones in terms of amenities. Just a decent pillow and a scratchy but thick blanket. The seats and controls are almost identical to the 787-9 that I flew in on, though I prefer the 787 just for its cabin pressure and the bigger windows. Thankfully, this old-timer had personal air vents and overall was in good condition with plenty of storage, outlets, and a great remote that you can watch the moving map on at the same time as something else on the main screen. Over your shoulder, there's a small reading light, and to the side, another storage compartment in your armrest. As much as I like the seats though, the cleanliness details could have been quite a bit better. Depending on your row, you'll get 2 or 3 windows all to yourself. Note that on the 777s, you'll get the seat belt with the airbag inside of it instead of the 3-point belt. Tonight's flight would be taking off from runway 8 right and heading south at 37,000 feet for the 1,507 mile hop to Bogotá's runway 13 right. Pushback was about 40 minutes late, but we landed just 4 minutes behind schedule. We made our way taxiing to the runway and were able to watch some narrow bodies take off on what seemed like a loop. Quick note about my ticket, I gave the full description in my last video as these 2 flights were ticketed together, but long story short, I had to physically go to a ticket office in Saigon to pay for this ticket with a flight credit that didn't cover the full fare. That office visit cost $30. But after 3 days trying to contact an agent on the phone, it was really my only option to not miss out on these exact flights that I chose. After taking off to the east, we headed south to Bogotá. Here's possibly one of the last spool-ups from this aircraft. If you're enjoying this video, please consider subscribing to the channel and check out the links in the description for other ways that you could also support. Next week, we'll also be introducing a new channel devoted solely to longer format aircraft takeoff and landings. So if you're a true aviation fan, keep your eyes out for that mentioned in future videos, and thank you in advance. Now, we have the super disappointing meal service, if you can even call it that. After my fantastic meal coming over from LAX, perhaps my expectations got the best of me, as I was just expecting more than a basic snack basket. The crew on this flight also left something, well, a lot to be desired. I can definitely see how this is not really the most preferred route to work, and they certainly put that on full display. No smiles, no pleasantries, just absolutely the bare minimum, and then lots of laughing in the galleys. The bathrooms were kept presentable, and I do like that the larger sinks are on the 777s. After the snack service, the very full business class cabin went dark and quiet, and shortly after we were already on our descent into Bogotá from the northwest. The landing was literally pitch black, and after a 15-minute taxi, we pulled up to our gate at El Dorado at 39 past midnight, and the airport was surprisingly a breeze to get through at that late hour. There were many flights from the US landing after midnight, so I was expecting a scene that was a bit more chaotic. Lucky for us, I suppose. That is all that there is to write, so let's get on to the flip-flop score. The seat is almost as great as on the 787s. Service on the ground was good, in the air just blah. The lounge is solid for what it is, but the ticketing and website experience was way too clunky. I guess for a snack basket, the selection and taste was decent, but it's kinda hard to judge a snack. Lastly, besides the pillow and the blanket, no other amenities were on board. Overall, a disappointing 71 out of 100, but I suppose it's an experience that I should have expected, considering how cheap business class flights to Colombia generally are. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel for 2 new reviews every week. In the next video, we're going to take a look at the Four Seasons Hotel in Bogotá.